The opinions expressed in the following program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers or Rogers TV.
Welcome to Health Matters. I'm your host this evening, Dr. Lana Marconi. On tonight's show, we're going to explore aspects of spiritual healing, such as angel therapy. We also have a live Reiki attunement. Then we're going to dive into the science of Reiki and close with drumming, a form of music therapy for healing. Before all that starts, I need to reveal the results of last week's poll question. Here was the question. How does your boss/employer lead the organization you work at? According to the results, 75% said with inspiration, integrity, and vision, with fear, control, and authority. Nobody said that, and a bit of both, 25%. Hey, thank you so much for voting. I have a new poll question for you, and it's based on tonight's topic of spiritual healing. Do you believe in angels? Yes or no? Let us know, rogerstv.com/health matters. And now my first guest, she's an angel therapy practitioner. Please welcome Michelle Kosziwka. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us, what's your first experience with angels?
I'd have to say my first experience was when I was quite young, probably around 9 years old, and my best friend had moved away. So needless to say, when you're 9, that's devastating. I felt like I was totally alone. I didn't know how I was going to kind of cope with being on my own. And it always came very natural to me to pray. And I remember sitting in my bedroom praying, closing my eyes, and all of a sudden feeling an immense warmth all around me, like someone was hugging me. And after that, I always kind of felt that presence around me. So that probably would have been the first time, way back then.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
According to the Montreal Gazette, 66% of all Canadians believe in angels.
Right.
So what is an angel from your
Well,
perspective?
I believe that angels are messengers, divine messengers from God, from the Creator, who are sent here to protect us and basically to help us through this life path. So they come to us with messages. They can help us with all aspects of our life, and they know everything that's going on with us. So they're a fantastic resource.
Are there differences between regular angels and archangels?
There
or
are,
could
yes.
our family members be our guardian angel?
Family members are a little bit different. They have different energy than the angels do. The archangels are specific angels that are responsible for different aspects and parts of our lives. Angels are usually people that we would have, or not really people, but angels that we would have worked with, maybe in different lifetimes, things like that. And yes, sometimes we refer to past loved ones as angels because we definitely feel their sense and their presence around us too.
So you believe in another dimension, another reality?
I do.
You do? Okay.
I do.
I don't know if you've heard of Jeffrey Long. He's a medical doctor. He's one of the forerunners in near-death experiences.
Right.
And from all of his research, he's found commonalities among people who've had near-death experiences, such as an out-of-body experience, going through the tunnel, traveling through the tunnel, seeing the light, experiencing unearthly realms with beautiful landscapes, joyous reunions with family members, a life review, and a decision whether or not you want to return to Earth. And what's really interesting is that all these people were so physically compromised to the point of being clinically dead, pronounced, that it's almost impossible that they could actually have a lucid, organized memory of these experiences, but they do.
And they're all very similar.
And
they all experience the same thing. And you know, that's kind of the way that I have interpreted it too, from talking to the angels and working with the angels, about how there definitely is that other realm and that other time frame there. So yes, I do believe that. Yes.
So tell me, how has connecting with the angels enhanced your health?
Oh boy, in many, many ways. I've always kind of believed in alternative healing. I always considered myself pretty open-minded, probably because I've always seen the angels. But they really do, or they really are a great source to bring in when there's something going wrong in your health. Often a part of us knows what it is that we need to change or what we need to do. So usually the angels will just kind of provide the person for you, the health modality, whether it is a medical doctor that you need to see. They're going to put that person in your path to kind of say, you know what, Dr. Lana, it's time for you to take a look at this part of your health. So they really will intervene when the time is right, especially once you ask.
And angels are of a higher order, right?
Yes.
So the role of spirituality on health, I mean, it's vital. For example, in the AA book, in the big AA book, I mean, you know, one of the steps is to believe that a power greater than yourself can restore you to sanity. So having faith in a greater power is oftentimes a lifesaver for other people. In the American Journal of Psychiatry, there's an article called The Healing Power of Faith that demonstrates that people who are spiritual, who actually practice meditating and prayer, they're actually more healthier and they live longer. So do you find, when it comes to your health and angels, are you being affected on all levels, like physical, emotional, mental, not just spiritual?
Definitely. I mean, there's the physical part that the angels will help you with, whether it's Reiki that you're going to talk about later on in the show today, or whether it's foods that you're eating. So there's our own divine work that we can do to make changes. But there's also what I've come to find with spiritual healing and with working with the angels, a big part of what's going on in our body is because of the stress that's in our life or because of emotional turmoil, which is usually when people turn to the angels and turn to a higher power, is when they're really at their lowest point, and they're at the point where, okay, I hope there is something out there because I need something. And that's another way of asking the angels in.
Sure. So how do the angels communicate with you? Because like John Edward crossing over, he says that when he receives messages from people who crossed over, he gets impressions, or he'll see things, or he'll get thoughts that he needs to interpret from his own frame of reference.
Yes.
So how
in
is
the
it for
beginning,
you?
it was feelings, a warmth of the angels being around me. Physical signs, which they'll give to everybody once you ask to start having the angels come into your life. So signs, angel feathers, finding pennies, songs on the radio, that kind of thing. For me, now I physically can see them. It really depends, to be quite honest, on what kind of day I'm having. If I'm really busy and I'm really crazy and I'm not listening, Archangel Michael will literally say, Michelle, slow down. Okay, and in meditation, I always say to people that want to connect with the angels and to do that kind of work, just take time for yourself, relax, close your eyes and meditate. Even if it's for 30 seconds, you're giving the higher power a chance to swoop in and actually make that connection with you.
Sure, so you're almost like a medium in a sense.
I do that too.
James Van Praagh, executive producer for Ghost Whisper, one of his books is about what the deceased can teach us about life, and he says that the biggest message that he gets from people who have crossed over is regret. Why didn't I love more?
Right.
Why did I let fear rule my life? Why didn't I take that opportunity? He says, when you're going to cross over, make sure you cross over clean as you can. Live your life, because people on the other side are going, I should have done it differently. I really should have lived my life. So what type of message, or the most common message, would you get? Or do
you know what is about learning to let go, because we live in a society, we've become so control oriented. We say that we have faith and that we want to believe, but in the same time, in the back of our mind, we're constantly saying, is that working? Is that going to work? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Our minds are constantly racing. When you talk about the medium work, when I see loved ones around people, the archangels are the first realm. They are the healers, they are with us, they're the messengers, they're always with us. If there's someone's loved one beside them, I know that there's something that that loved one needs to pass on, that that person needs to hear. So usually it's that this person, that you might be following the same path that your grandmother had passed, and her regrets that she had. So she's like, don't do this, right? She's trying to pass on this stuff that, that she's learned that she wants you to not kind of fall into those same patterns. Or it could be that you're just doing something that she doesn't like. Why are you doing this? I know everything, so yeah.
Sure. Thomas More, one of the greatest authors, wrote Care of the Soul, and he said the greatest malady of today is loss of the soul. Right. So I would imagine that the type of work that you're doing is reconnecting people to their soul.
Oh, definitely, because it does. It leaves the body. You see that when you're doing Reiki. You see that if you don't have a calm, loving vessel for that soul to stay in, it steps outside. It says, I can't live in this hostile, toxic environment right now. It stays connected to you. But that's why, for some people it's going to church or meditation or having healing work done. You'll see and sense and feel the soul come back into the body, because they're like, oh.
How can people open up to their psychic abilities? Because clearly we do have psychic abilities,
We
but
all
how do
have
we open
it.
up to them?
And you know, a lot of people get frustrated because they say, Michelle, you see the angels, I can't see them, they're not with me. I'm like, no, 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 I didn't always see them. In the beginning, it took time. Sometimes it's when you close your eyes. But it really is taking really good care of yourself. Loving yourself is the first step, because when you love yourself, you take time for yourself, and when you take time for yourself, you actually relax enough for that connection to come, because they're and you have to ask. You have to ask the angels, because of free will.
You have to invoke them and invite them into your... See, folks at home, invite the angels into your life so they can help you with what? Any problems?
Oh,
do they help you with everything?
Problems, relationships, your diet. That's the other thing they really help to
Hold that thought.
Sure.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back more on Spiritual Healing on Health Matters. Don't go away. According to Doreen Virtue, Ph.D., author of Healing with the Angels want you to know that you can ask them for help. Invoking them for healing is powerful, but you must let go of how the healing will occur. Welcome back to Health Matters. We're exploring the role of spiritual healing on health. I'm joined with angel practitioner Michelle Kosziwka, and also joining me now is Lisa Buhrow. She's a Reiki Master. Michelle is going to be doing an angel card reading on her. But first, I have a question for you that I'm actually going to preface with a quick story. Dr. Brian Weiss, I'm sure you've heard of him, Many Lives, Many Masters. Okay, his daughter, Amy Weiss, when she was 25, she was diagnosed with cataracts. The doctors told her that she would, eventually go blind. So she had her father regress her to a past life.
Right.
And he said to her, go back in time to when the symptom originally happened. And she found herself in the Middle Ages to be an old man, white beard. She was living in a hut by herself.
Right.
The townspeople thought she was evil and practicing wizardry. So they torched her place, which caused her to go blind. At that moment when she was experiencing that, she felt her heart merge with the man's heart and felt depression.
Right.
She had realized that she was carrying the cataracts into this lifetime. Brian then said to her, take yourself to the beginning, or not the beginning, the end of that life, and what is the message? And the message for her was that sadness clouds the eyes. So after that healing experience, and she came out of it, she was able to let that go and release it, and doctors then cleared her of cataracts. She no longer had cataracts. Yeah. So my question to you is, angels and past lives, where do they fit?
Well, sometimes they will be kind of the driving force that will kind of give you the opportunity to be able to realize what that stuff really is and what you're carrying into this lifetime. Because often we have fears that really don't relate to anything that's happened to us in our lives, but we don't understand why we have such strong feelings. The same thing with relationships with people. Why we're so drawn to people, all of a sudden we don't understand, we feel like we've met them before, kind of thing. Sure. So usually, especially if it's something like that that has to do with your health, once you start relating to the angels and working with the angels, they'll start to give you little glimpses. Usually it's when you're dreaming, because you're calm enough that they can come in, and they'll show you dreams of what you experienced in that other lifetime. And then, past life regression, I believe that.
So they take you in little baby steps.
They do, yes, because
for some people it's overwhelming to the psyche, right? To be exposed to, all of a sudden I have a past life.
Definitely.
People don't believe that.
That's right. That's right. And they'll do it
little
slowly.
Steps, little slow steps. Okay.
Yes, definitely.
I love your answer. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, angel card reading. What is an angel card reading?
Angel card readings are fantastic. When you're getting messages from your angels in the beginning, the first thing that you do is doubt what you're getting. You think that you're getting what you want to hear, kind of thing. So what's great about using the oracle cards is that they really spell everything out for you. So there's no way of denying what you're getting. So it's
Lisa,
confirmation.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Oh,
You're
right.
going to expose yourself to the whole world?
Yes, it's okay. I'm ready.
You're
So
a brave soul,
I'm going to get
Lisa.
you just to hold the cards for me. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put Lisa's energy into the cards, and we're going to ask the angels what is most pressing or what they want you to know today.
I'm excited.
Excited? Good. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Excellent.
All right.
So what does the layout look like, the spread?
This particular one, if I'm trying to just kind of get to the heart of the matter,
Yeah.
I would spread 3 cards out.
Okay.
So the first card is really about what the situation is that she needs to do. So I'm seeing Archangel Uriel here. So Archangel Uriel is the Archangel of emotions and healing. So for Lisa today, it's about forgiveness. Okay? And it's related to your children. So people in your life or people from your past that are still connected to your children that you just need to just go a little bit deeper with that forgiveness. So do you know what they're talking about? Who?
Probably my ex-husband.
Yes. I didn't want to get really personal on TV, but that's definitely what it is.
That's just being honest.
Yes. So he still has that connection with your daughter.
Right, exactly.
So what's happening is the angels are just telling you that in order to kind of to release some of that stress that you might be putting on her
Release the
indirectly. Yeah, that's a whole other show.
Haven't you let him go yet?
Release the energy.
Yes, and you know what? Sometimes people think I have done the forgiveness. I do forgive
Yeah.
them, and then the archangels come, and this card is upside down, so that means pay special attention.
It's
so
in layers.
Yeah, so what's happening is this unforgiveness that you have is affecting your daughter indirectly because of every time she is with him, or the fear is there, wanting to protect her even though you can't be with her, kind of thing. Does that make sense?
I think that's 100% right.
Okay.
What's the last card?
This card?
No, the one over there.
This is the first one.
Oh, that's the first
that
one.
is about being able to understand other people's point of view. It's rarely what the card says. It's more when the Grace and Antoinette card comes for me. I know it's about a relationship that needs healing. So there's some kind of compassion that needs to be shown between the two of you.
So is that you need to understand where he's coming from, his perspective then? Is that what the message is?
The feeling that I get actually
Yeah.
from this spread is that her relationship with him is having a bit of effect on their daughter, because every time they see each other when she's not around, she's worrying about her. She wants to,
We have a phone call.
that protection thing.
I think someone wants a reading.
Okay.
I don't know. Her name's Heather.
Hi, Heather.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm great.
How can we help you?
I had to call in because I had my first reading with Michelle at the Breakthrough Center. I don't know if you remember me. It's Heather. I had the thyroid condition.
Oh, okay. Yes, I do.
And you knew it before I did.
Oh, that's right.
And I have to say, I got to be honest. I went to the Breakthrough Center. I had a reading. I was a little skeptical because I wasn't really completely sure about the whole angel thing. Well, honestly, you've changed my life forever.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I see it in a complete different perspective now, and my reading was, you were 100% accurate with my reading. I
that's
couldn't
great.
believe it.
Would you like her to pick a
thank
card
you.
for you right now?
Pardon?
Would you like her to pick you a card?
Sure.
All right.
Okay. Thank
Do you want to
Heather.
tell us what your question is?
Actually, I'd like to know about work still.
Okay.
I'm still looking in that direction. But,
Okay. Oh, okay. And the card you got is about a happy move to a new home or place of employment is in the works for you.
Oh, nice.
So the movement is ushering in the new energy for that. So all that you have to do is just try to remember to stay as positive as you can. I know we want to rush it and we want it to happen right now, but lots of things have to happen in the background. And now that you're working with the angels, because you had that angel reading and because it sounds like you're asking them for help now, you want to give them a chance to use their divine energy in that, because it's going to make it much better than you could do on your own.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Thanks
Heather.
a lot. Thank you, Michelle. Take care.
Michelle,
Thank you.
let's pick a card for do a collective reading for our
Okay.
viewers.
Sure.
So what's a message that our viewers at home need to know? And these are these health cards?
These are healing. Archangel Raphael, who's the Archangel of Healing. So this is fantastic for someone who does Reiki, like Lisa and myself, because it helps us kind of tune in.
Sure.
So if we're doing it for, okay. Okay. So this reading is, again, for the whole
It's
of
for
mankind.
you folks at home.
Yes. Okay, so it's really coincidental that we're here talking about spiritual healing. So Archangel Raphael is the Archangel of Healing. Okay. Archangel Raphael in this card is showing us that we have so much power when it comes to healing ourselves and our bodies. And there's so many different modalities out there. So ask for Archangel Raphael for help with any of your family members, for yourself, any illnesses, anything that's happening in your life that you feel you need healing with. Ask for Archangel Raphael's help. Sunlight is about Really just letting the light in. Okay, so light meaning divine
the
light.
light in.
Yes,
Let the
divine
light in.
healing
Get rid of
and
that
having
darkness.
faith. Okay, so the other thing Archangel Raphael is saying in this card, Jesus is in this card too, which is of course a healer. Just letting you know that you just have to have faith. Just have faith, open up, let the light in, and watch the healing occur.
That's great. Thank you. Let's talk about resistance for a minute, because Heather
Yes.
brought that up. She
Yeah.
was cynical. Doreen Virtue,
Yeah.
I'm sure you know.
Yes.
She said that she always heard messages from the angels when she was young, but she always avoided it.
Yes.
And then she was in a very unhappy marriage,
Yeah.
and the angels were like, "You need to change your life." And she
Yeah.
didn't change her life until she actually got hijacked. And the angels
Yes.
said to her, "You
Yes.
need to, scream." And she did.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, she
Yes.
believed in angels. So, what can you tell people at home quickly to trust? To trust that goodness.
Yes, ask for a sign. I tell everybody when they come for a reading, just like in Heather's case, even if you have fear, I can see the fear around you. It's usually a white, smoky gray color, which the angels are saying, oh, she's got some fear, we got to break through there. You have to trust. Everyone believes. There's a part of them that believes. It's there. We're all spiritual beings. We all believe. Trusting, so I say ask for a sign. Ask for help. Charles, because I studied under Doreen's son,
Nice.
Charles. Yeah, he's a fantastic guy. He always makes this reference that when you go to a restaurant and you order dinner, you can trust the waitress and you can trust the cook in the back room. And you don't feel like you need to go back to the kitchen 6 times before you get your order to say, are you sure they're going to get my order right? Are you sure they're going to, no butter on
Nice.
this?
Thank you so
why
much.
can't we
Hold that
trust
thought.
God?
We're going to take a quick break again. More on health matters and spiritual therapy. Dr. Brian Weiss, author of Many Lives, Many Masters, is known for observing patients and their connections between their past lives and current phobias. He uses past life regression therapy to help them create healing in their lives. Welcome back to Health Matters. We're discussing various aspects of spiritual healing, such as angel therapy. We're going to shift into Reiki now. I have 2 Reiki masters here, Lisa Buhrow and Michelle Kosziwka. Welcome back, ladies. Okay, Reiki, Lisa.
Reiki is
Yes.
it's a Japanese healing art technique, and it's laying on of hands, and it's to heal the energy in the body. And I like to, it's very positive, so it's kind of like a warm hug or a smile. That's the type of energy that you're giving someone to heal their bodies.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of health, Reiki, disease happens in the energy field, right? And so if we take care of our subtle energy field through Reiki.
Absolutely. Reiki is fantastic for the entire body. It helps to heal the nervous system. It can get into the layers of the diseases. There has been fantastic results with
Which
Reiki.
we're going to get into. What's your story with Reiki?
My story specifically is 13 years ago, I was working doing massage, and all of a sudden my leg, I was limping. And so I went to the doctors right away, and my local general doctor, and he said, I think you might have MS. And then I went over to see the neurologist on the Wednesday, and he said yes. And so they started with this whole series of batteries of tests and things. And so I started having Bell's palsy. And I was very, very sick. And I was sitting at home and for about 2 weeks, and I was praying. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do about this? Like, they had given me some medication to slow down whatever the process was. And I had met this lady, and she was a Reiki master, and she had told me that, this is something that you should do. And for some reason, when I was praying, this came into my mind. So I called her and I said, I really want to take Reiki. So I went to her house and I did the first degree. Now, miraculously enough, my pain, which was at a 9, went down to a 7 when I did the first degree. And of course, I was like, is this really happening? It's kind of the acceptance thing. And then I did the second attunement, because Reiki happens in 3 attunements. And again, my pain went down again. So now I was at 40% pain. And then I did the masters within the next 3 months. And my pain went down to I only had 10% left. And when I finally went for my MRI, all my symptoms had dissipated.
Wow.
And there was no lesions. So then
I just totally became entwined in Reiki.
With Reiki. So can you take viewers through what attunement would look like?
Well, I'm going to do an attunement on Michelle today, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain it as I go. So there's 3 attunements in Reiki, and the first attunement, Reiki 1, is for self-healing. Okay. So it's kind of like turning on the energy. So that's what Reiki 1 is. And a lot of people, they feel the energy, and they feel if they've had any health problems, they start to get better. And they can feel different things. So they can feel heat, tingling, or even see things. Okay. Reiki number 2 is when they start learning how to heal others, and they can do distance healing. So I'm going to start with Michelle right now. So Michelle, I just need you to just turn just a little bit here. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put your hands together in the prayer position. And as I'm doing this, there are 3 symbols in Reiki. One, the first symbol is called a shokare.
Okay, we have symbols. We'll put them up. Shokare?
Okay. Yeah, a shokare. And it looks like a spiral and a circle. And it literally means put the power here. And then the second symbol is called a seihaki, and that's for emotional healing. And that's to emotionally heal her entire body. And it's fantastic. And then the third symbol that you only see when you're doing an attunement is like a lightning bolt. And if you can imagine, it's like white light going through the body to heal, right? So I'm going to do Michelle. Michelle, I'm just going to get you to close your eyes. And I'm going to get you to tell me if you feel it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm infusing Michelle with the Reiki symbols and with my energy. And being a Reiki master, it basically means that I've had the 3 attunements and I have the energy, and it's like I'm passing it on. So I'm passing on the healing ability, and Michelle will then feel it. And I'm just going to place my head around her crown chakra right here. And as I'm doing this right now, I am doing the symbols in my mind. And I'm asking for Michelle to have the attunement. And when you do a Reiki attunement, you're asking all the other Reiki masters, guides, spirits, and angels to come and help do the attunement with you. And then we're just going through the body. And now we can ask Michelle how she's feeling. Michelle, how are you feeling?
Good.
Right. And are you feeling any warmth or sensation? I am myself feeling a heat and a sensation tingling all the way down.
I'm tingling over here.
Yeah, and I'm also with Michelle, I'm actually seeing her aura, so I can see she's got blue and some green light coming around the crown.
Our technical producer's tingling too. Yeah. Just told that
There's some energy flowing through Michelle. And then with Michelle, over the next couple of weeks, she will have a transitioning. So if there's any been health concerns, that will actually start to heal itself. And then Michelle will feel a greater sense of power and also release. It absolutely helps you release. And it's fantastic.
I feel bubbles in my gallbladder.
In your gallbladder, right?
Do you have gallbladder issues?
I do.
Yeah. So I'm just channeling the energy through her. And it's just like praying. So you're praying for her, and then Michelle's hands, are your hands getting warm?
Oh, that's warm.
Yeah, you can feel the heat. The heat is starting to
heat.
radiate. Yeah, it's fantastic. And Michelle is beautiful. Her energy is amazing. It's like blue and greens. It's fantastic. I'm also seeing an angel, so I am seeing Raphael. And Dr. Yusui as well, who you're going to talk about later with the history of Reiki as well. And so the energy is now cascading, and now I'm going to direct it through her body. And I'm just going to infuse her hands again. And we're just going to allow the attunement to crest through her body. And I'm just going to close the attunement. Now there's different ways to do, like Reiki attunements can be a full day ritual or prayer, just depending on how the teacher, the Reiki master, is teaching the class. And so I'm just going to close Michelle so she can just relax now. So I'm just going to let you sit there. And when you're ready, when you feel good, you can open your eyes and tell us about your experience, if you saw anything. So do you can open your eyes. Don't you feel anything?
Come back.
Yeah, come back, come back. Don't go into the light. Come back.
I know, we all want to go there.
Right.
But we have to do our job here.
Yes, that's right.
As light workers, right?
Yes. So Lisa and I have a connection because she's my Reiki master. She taught me. But so as soon as I could feel her coming towards me, but I definitely could feel bubbles in my gallbladder, pain in that area that I've been working on right now. And also though, just then after the pain came the sense of healing, and then Archangel Raphael and Archangel Michael saying, okay, put on your seatbelt, you got some healing to go. I'm like, oh great.
Yeah.
More
and,
healing.
You know, and it's such a wonderful sense for me to be able to help people. I mean, I can't explain when other people feel so great after they've had an attunement, right? And the energy. And I often get calls later like, is this still working? Why is this still working? I'm like, because your body is going through the process.
Sure. Well, I mean, a lot of people believe in Reiki. I was just watching Dr. Oz, and his wife is a Reiki master, and Dr. Oz actually has people doing Reiki in the operating room. And he did a small study of 11 people, and in that study, the people who had the Reiki had no post-operative depression. After the bypass surgery, they didn't have any pain or weakness in their legs, and none of them rejected an organ transplant.
Wow.
That is fantastic. The Nature of Things did a show a few years ago. It was on quantum holographing. So, and that's where the Reiki second attunement comes in, because you can do distance healing. And so with that particular show, they had a priest doing prayers, which is very similar to doing distance healing with Reiki. And they had a shaman doing healing as well. And what they did is they had 40 people, 20 were they all had AIDS, unfortunately, but 20 were prayed for with either Reiki, shaman, or a priest, and the other 20 were not. All of the 20 that were prayed for, 100% of the study, all of them had no symptoms or pains for the 30 days that they were prayed for. So that's how powerful it is.
Wonderful. And you do workshops.
I do,
What
yes.
type of workshops do you do?
I teach workshops in everything from, well, everything angels usually, but I'm really passionate about the law of attraction, about, you know, bringing positive things into your life, about healing, about meditation, and yeah, I do a lot of workshops at the Breakthrough Center here in Brampton.
Nice. Just quickly, people at home who want to open up to Reiki, what should they do?
Well, if you want to open up to Reiki, I always suggest if you're going to a bookstore, the first process is go to the bookstore and ask. Asking is very good. Say, you know, I need some help. I'd like to find the Reiki book, and then go through the Reiki books and pick the one that you're attracted to most, because it's really good to get an idea of what you're interested in. Then after that, you can find a Reiki master or get a Reiki treatment to see how you feel about it. I find that people are called towards it.
They are called towards it. Ladies, thank you very,
Thank
very
you.
much. I so enjoyed your presence tonight, and continue to light up the world with the angels and Reiki. We'll be back more on health matters and spiritual healing. Dr. John Zimmerman of the University of Colorado discovered that strong magnetic fields are created around the hands of trained healers when doing healing work on patients. No such fields are created by sham healers. Welcome back to Health Matters. We're discussing spiritual healing therapies. With me now is Vera Porter, Ph.D. in energy medicine. She's going to take us through some of the science behind Reiki. Welcome, Vera.
Thank you.
How are you? So tell me a bit about yourself.
Well, before I discovered energy medicine, I had a career in business and a second career teaching elementary school. And early on, I had a Reiki treatment and an integrated energy therapy treatment at a crisis point in my life. And I thought, ooh, this is powerful and very healing. And I saw the situation with much more clarity. So it was a path I really had to follow. So
Nice. What type of research has been done on Reiki?
well, actually, there hasn't been a lot of research being done. A lot of the studies that have been done are small and the designs are poor. But there have been some very interesting studies done. Dr. Daniel Benor put together a 2-volume set of books describing many kinds of energy medicine and spiritual healing studies. And if people are interested, that's an excellent source. Both of them.
Now,
very good.
You've carried out your own Reiki research
I did.
as part of your dissertation or
I
your
did.
doctoral work, and actually it was featured in a peer-reviewed journal, International Journal of Healing and Caring, correct?
Yes.
Nice job.
Thank
so
you.
had a large sample size in this study.
I did.
Okay,
yeah.
tell us about your study.
Well,
and what did you find?
One of the problems was the size of studies. So I made a point of having a large study. I had 80 people and I had 2 groups. So I could compare one group with Reiki treatment with a group without Reiki treatment. There's a little more to it than that, but essentially that's how it was designed. And I found that backing up, one of the very interesting things that came out of the study was 50% of the people who were in the study were depressed at the mild to severe level.
Okay.
And only one of the people in the study were diagnosed. So a lot of people are in that level without realizing it. And the study actually showed a substantial reduction, a 10% reduction in energy, in anxiety and depression. And the exciting thing about that was it remained stable at the 30-day measure. So the gains that people made remained in place.
Interesting.
So.
Larry Dossi, medical doctor, have you heard of him? I mean, he's huge in the field. He works at the Dallas Hospital. I think he's retired now. He's written numerous books on consciousness, spirituality, and healing. He describes 3 eras of medicine. Era 1 medicine is your traditional orthodox drug, surgery, radiation medicine. Era 2 medicine is the mind affecting the brain, affecting the body, so like a placebo, for example. Era 3 medicine is about the non-locality of the mind, where the mind can affect a lot of people at a distance. And one of the research projects he brings up is the Princeton PAIR project, where receivers 6,000 miles away from the senders received a message 3 days prior to it having been sent. Now replace the word message with the word healing in there.
Yes.
And Reiki does distant healing. So my
Yes.
question would be, at what point do you think our healthcare system is going to catch up to Era 3 medicine and really acknowledge that we are multidimensional human beings and that we do have a non-local mind, which physicists actually, I mean, that's their model of the world.
Well, going back to a very special, an extraordinary study by Robert Becker and John Zimmerman, what they wanted to know was exactly what goes on when a Reiki session is going on. What's happening? And what they found is a number of things, actually. The brainwave patterns become synchronized in the alpha state. And that's the state of deep relaxation and meditation. And what Dr. Tony Bennell found was that the bioenergetic emission from the hands increased 1,000 times when a treatment is being made, given.
Sure, sure.
So it's a mystery. But it's a beautiful mystery.
I think Era 3 medicine it's very sophisticated. It's using our minds in a way that we should be using.
Yes.
Again, Larry Dossi cites a research about the power of prayer. San Francisco Hospital, 400 people, 2 groups, they all received the same standard of care. It was in the cardiac department. One of the groups were prayed for. And in that group that was prayed for, there was no cardiac arrest. No one had to go on a ventilator machine, and nobody died. The opposite held true in the group that was not prayed for. I mean, that's a striking difference.
And they don't have to know that they were prayed for, so it's not a placebo in any way.
Yeah.
It's the energy that's emitted
Sure.
with intent.
What's your hope for Reiki in research?
Well, actually, my hope is, there are now about 15% of hospitals in the U.S. are practicing Reiki. So, and more Reiki practitioners are being invited to speak at medical situations, medical conferences and so on. And so it is slowly becoming mainstream. And from my own paper, I said, I'll just read this.
Sure.
As this evolution occurs, at some point in the not too distant future, Reiki and other forms of energy medicine and spiritual healing will be viewed by all medical practitioners as simply one more method of promoting physical and mental health of the patient. The implications for humanity of the acceptance of integrative healthcare are powerful and exciting. And if you think about the growing need for it, and the growing understanding and acceptance.
Sure.
When we have an integrated system, it's going to be a much healthier system.
Well, I always found America, especially California, more advanced than we are here. And I spent a lot of time there. UCLA Medical Center, the Pediatric Pain Center. There's a lady there named Carolyn Coleridge. She's a psychotherapist turned intuitive healer. She helps teens. So this one girl, here's a client case that came to see her with pain in her stomach and headaches. Regular doctors told her, the pain's in your head. It's psychological. There's nothing we can do for you. So she finally was, maneuvered over to go see this Carolyn Coleridge at UCLA. And she did energy work on her. And as she was doing the energy work, she felt a block in her organ. So she explained this to the girl and explained it to the mother. And because of that, the mother was able to advocate and push for more tests by regular doctors. And when they did that, the regular doctors found a defect in her pancreas, which they surgically corrected, and she became pain-free. Right? I mean, how awesome is that an energy healer could, direct or save someone's life in that way, when regular doctors are just saying, hey, there's nothing wrong with you, the pain is in your head, go home. Yeah. Well,
Dr. Valerie Hunt, who was also Professor Emeritus at UCLA, developed the aura meter. And that actually can tell, because these conditions are either a lack of energy or a blockage of energy. And what she developed is a kind of photography, like Kirlian photography, that can actually see these blockages before they become symptomatic as a disease. And that's one of the directions we need to go, because that's pre-symptom. And if we can stop disease at that level, at that point, it's a whole different system.
Our healthcare,
and the costs. I mean, think of the cost saving of not having to go through what so many people are going through. Cost in terms of emotional and financial.
Right, and not finding answers.
And not finding answers.
Which is the hardest.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. Vera, thank you very much for your time, and all the best to you with Reiki and your study.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with some drumming to close out tonight's show. Stick around. Shamanic drumming is one of the oldest methods of healing. Drum therapy is a complementary treatment for any number of health issues such as trauma and addiction. Welcome back to Health Matters. We've been exploring various aspects of spiritual therapy, building the spiritual energy in the studio here tonight. With me now is Tom Wolf, and he's going to play some drums for us. Welcome, Tom. How did you get into drumming?
Actually, when I was 8, I broke my arm, and my aunt suggested that I get into drumming as therapy.
Nice. Okay. So my next question was, how does drumming, how is it related to your health?
Well, what I've experienced personally over the years has been the opportunity to feel a presence when I'm drumming. So to be present. More as I've become more mature. At first, it's just a way to make a living. It's always, of course, always been enjoyable. But when I got into hand drumming, and specifically West African drumming, then I started to realize a little more what was involved spiritually and physiologically.
Sure, there's actually a lot of research on drumming. Stanford University shows that drumming as a form of music therapy helps to decrease anxiety and depression in people while increasing self-esteem. So I understand you're going to play your drum right now. What should people at home be doing, meditating, thinking about as you play?
Well, first of all, consider that as the drum is being played, and as you play the drum, it's best if you participate, but since I'll be playing it for you,
sure.
Allow your cells to be bathed in that.
In the sound. Wonderful.
Sound.
Bathe me with the sound of the drum,
okay.
Tom.
So I'll just play for a couple of minutes here and start off nice and simple with some basic rhythms that will sort of bring your heart rate to a place a little more calm, and then maybe we'll get a little more excited about it. Okay.
Can people do shamanic journeying while you're drumming?
Yes, and in fact, in traditional West African culture, the drums are used to sort of invite our ancestors. In previous segments, you've talked about accessing the other side, and culturally speaking, in many cultures, the drum is the vehicle that's used to invite the participation of their ancestors. For myself, I basically encourage people to participate. I teach classes and workshops, and we do team building events. I work for a company called Drum Cafe as well, and we do team building events where everybody in the audience gets to play a drum. So they get to experience that firsthand. It's accessible, it's physical, it's fun, and many people, another thing that happens when you're playing, once you become less conscious of what's happening, muscle memory takes over.
You lose yourself.
You lose yourself in it, but all the while you're present because you are physically involved.
Yeah, it's as though you transcend the time and space when you're playing it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tom, thank you very much for being here. I really enjoyed that. We'd love to hear more.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in tonight to Health Matters. I'll leave you with a quote from New York Times bestselling author Barbara De Angelis. She says, "We need to remember that we are spiritual beings spending some time in a human body." Have a terrific evening. I'll see you next week on Health Matters.